Well, today we get to talk about something fun. We're going to actually tell you don't lift the arms in the backswing.
What?
I think just a good general kind of understanding where we're going to go with this, where we're going to try to go with this,
Okay.
is force direction in the arms.
In the arms. Got it.
Okay. So first general question, do the arms swing up and down? Do they actually do that?
Well, that's a complicated answer, I think, right? I think that's one that's probably going to have a lot of debate to it. I think when I was taught as a kid, I was taught that they swing more up and down,
Yep.
right? Through shoulder flexion and extension, that sort of deal. But now I'm not so sure.
Okay, so here's the operative word is force direction.
Okay.
Force direction.
Got it.
Okay, so let's just look at certain swinging mechanisms.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're sitting in a swing set and you go, Riley, push me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, which direction do I initially push you?
That way.
That way.
Yep.
So we would call it kind of a horizontal vector. I'm pushing in that direction.
Level to the ground.
Sure.
For sure.
And when you start off, you get chugging and you're going this way.
Uh-huh.
But then pretty soon, which direction do you start going?
Up.
You start going up.
Uh-huh.
Oh, interesting. So
Boy.
if I go, or if I'm pushing you and it's kind of this casual push and you're kind of swinging and you're like, this is all well and good, but I want to go higher, Riley.
Uh-huh.
Right? You'll say higher, right?
Yes.
Like every little kid's like, higher, Dad.
Yep.
And then where does Dad push? Do they do this all of a sudden?
No, they just push harder in that same direction. Correct.
And eventually where does the kid go?
Further up.
Further up.
Okay.
Because right above Dad is the lever or
Uh,
the fulcrum.
Yes.
Force direction.
Okay.
Okay, so is this shoulder flexion? Just that act?
Yeah, right?
Yes.
It is.
Is
yes.
this shoulder flexion?
It is.
Yeah. So it's all shoulder flexion, but most people go, shoulder flexion is arm lift, and they're wrong. They're right and wrong.
They're right and wrong. Okay. I
It's
understand.
dependent upon where they deem they need to send the force. If they think they need a longer backswing, typically, I got to lift up here more. Okay, so this is like a massive, in my humble opinion, this is not debatable.
Okay.
Because if we want a more stable club face, so what is that? It's a club face that doesn't rotate as hard through the strike.
Right. So it
Yep.
stays more or less square here.
So what TJ is showing, and square to what?
Square to the path you're swinging on.
There you go,
right?
a general plane or
Yes,
path.
okay.
Yeah, square, yeah, right?
Yep,
So,
I get it.
Yeah, so the harder that is rotating, we would deem that, us in our academy, as unstable.
Okay.
Okay.
Understood.
So if you do this, Teach, go ahead and set up to a golf ball.
Sure.
And swing the golf club up. And it doesn't need to be crazy exaggerated, but send force in the arms up. There you go. From there, the player is going to have to stop the arms in some way. And the way that you did that is you created an equal and opposite force in the opposing direction or vector.
Interesting. Okay, so to stop the arms going up there forever,
Mm-hmm.
I had to add a force basically down.
And we'll be able to see that. Watch this. Do that again, but do it hard.
Okay.
So it bounces up here. Feel it go here and then it slightly bounces back. That's the force. And we see that in fascia. Yeah, so it's bouncing back down vertical in a vertical plane because you sent it vertical.
So if you send this active vertical force, you're going to get, whether you want it or not, another one that comes back down in the same direction.
Exactly. And
Okay.
most of the time, and kind of not necessarily whether you want it or not, because we'll see, right, players that get up here and then they just start turning, they keep it up here, right? But in general, we're going to have this I've got to stop it at some point because my idea is to send it up, and the way to stop that is to create another force in the opposing direction.
I see. Okay.
Okay, so now, if we're in that transitionary phase up there,
Sure.
which direction is the force going now?
Down.
Okay, and for your body, because your body is always there to support the swinging action of the arms, hands, and club. So the arms are going down. What would your body have to do in order to support that? Rise.
Rise
Exactly.
a little bit, yeah.
Because if I just go back here and I just send energy down, that's not going to be good relative to where the golf ball would be. So you've got to create, there you go. So the space that you've got to create is based on Typically, we talk about it in hip extension or spine extension
Yep.
to create this room that now I can deliver the golf club in here.
Yeah.
That stalls out body rotation, and the golf club still has force in it, so what's it going to do?
It's going to flash, so the rate of rotation is going to go up for sure.
There we go.
Okay.
So that is a map
Of how to swing the club.
of how to swing the club. By the way, there's some damn good players out there that play that way. I would argue that Jimmy Walker is that type of a player. Webb Simpson might be that type of a player. And we can see that through force in their body.
Yep.
And typically what we see in force of their body, like directionality of body, like if we're more of an extension kind of a pattern, vertical force player, the idea is we're going to send force downward.
Got it.
Justin Thomas would be one of those guys.
More vertical force.
By the way, no freaking hate on those dudes. Those guys are freaking unreal.
Yeah.
I ain't on tour. They kick my ass all up and down.
They're ballers.
They're great,
Yeah.
right? We're just talking about general maps.
Okay.
And if you want to get into this more of like a rotational, stable face kind of a dude, we've got to better understand options for force direction,
Okay.
which is also freaking awesome because it's dynamic.
Yes.
Forces are dynamic.
Okay.
Like when I'm saying force, I'm saying where are we moving?
Sure.
Okay. So let's get back to this like swing set idea.
Let's do it.
So the arms are the chains.
All right.
Okay. Go ahead and set up to the golf ball.
Okay.
Send the golf club at my shin. Send force here. There you go. Okay, now set up again. Turn towards the camera. Don't do anything with the arms. Okay, now if you sent the arms, and you can pump them too, like if the arms came back kind of underneath you, and then you sent force in the club head, like the center mass of the club, at the camera.
Oh. That was actually really cool. I didn't expect that to happen.
Yeah, no shit. You feel stuff.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
see, like, also what's cool, like that lead heel, like flashes
Yep,
away because,
yep.
like, you tap into spiral line immediately. You're not even thinking about spiral line. It's force direction.
So by trying to send the club at that camera.
Yep. Here's the lever. Like we have multiple levers. There's a lever
Sure.
here. There's a lever there. There's a lever there. Any joint is a lever. Okay. So what you just did is the center mass of the club you sent that way, but this is the lever. It's not going to just keep going. Eventually, this is the swinging point, and with enough force, it did pop up, but the force direction is not here.
It's not up.
It's there.
It's very, very level. That's
Exactly.
interesting.
Okay, so let's just hit one. We'll
All
just
right.
start with this idea.
Sure.
So your job, your midline right now is pointing here. Your chest needs to rotate the midline away so it points more towards the camera. And once it does that, you send force at the camera through the club head system. There you go. Go ahead and hit one at like 60%. Beautiful look right there. Midline force. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so now let's talk this forward swing. So in your mind's eye, the force got sent here, right? It's not sent there, it's sent there.
Got it.
Well, we would like the force then to be sent back forward again.
Okay.
And this shoulder complex is super interesting because it can do a lot of things.
Okay.
If I go into shoulder flexion, I can go right back down into extension of the shoulder.
Sure.
But we don't need to do that if we have a different matchup.
Okay.
So the first matchup, if I have this like vertical force, right? I'm running the arms down. I've got to stand to create room.
Correct.
Well, if I go turn horizontal force here, so I sent force away, from here, if I drop, like think of, especially in my spine, just in general, my spine's on this angle. If I drop, so I'm going into more hip flexion this way, see where my spine starts to move? It starts to move in this direction.
Yeah, it starts to change incline a little bit for sure.
That's exactly right. And perpendicular to that, to my spine in general, if I'm dropping, what all of a sudden is perpendicular to my spine?
The golf ball. Okay.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So if this arm gets sent boom, back away, so it's in shoulder flexion, as I drop, now I don't have to send force down. I don't have to go into extension of the shoulder anymore. Instead, I can go straight into abduction, this hit.
Okay.
Which force direction is that going?
That's level again.
That's
right?
level again, so it's not this vertical idea.
So instead of extension, flexion, and that probably will happen a little bit, right? Here's what you're saying, but it's more of that.
Yes.
So abduction.
Yes. So AB, just so like we're defining things, abduction is away from you. Adduction is into.
Got it.
Okay. So in the hit, once we've gone midline turn, send force away, Now I'm dropping, but see, I'm not doing anything with my arms yet. They're just floating in space back here. The lead arm will AB duct, as the trail arm, AD ducts, adducts, goes across. There you go. And that's the hit. Ah, so now we start to look more like if I've got an axe and I'm hitting it, like trying to axe a tree, or I have a sledgehammer trying to frickin' hammer a wall. Boom. See the force direction?
Wow.
In your mind's eye, you're sending force this way. So to get the golf club down here, all we need is to drop more so that, yeah. So see how TJ's spine now is on this angle?
Yep.
So perpendicular to that angle is here. Well, guess what's down there?
Interesting.
Okay, map.
Map. Okay.
Okay, so let's hit one at like 60%, but we're gonna feel midline turn away,
Okay.
know the force direction away. Once that golf club gets sent away, you're gonna drop and level hit. The arms go forward. That's so good. Just do that all buffed off, like 60% or but with that map.
Gotta focus here.
Uh-huh. Good.
Better.
No
better.
shit, better. And this is how you lower the rate of rotation in the club. Because if I'm throwing force here, the golf club's going to continue to work forward. So if this is going down, right, and I stand to create that room, well, eventually it's going to go forward. I can't support that because I'm done rotating.
Right.
So there goes the club.
That's interesting. So the rotation allows you to support the golf club a little bit, right? And if we ditch it all immediately, we're not able to do that anymore.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this is what's interesting too. We work with a lot of players, obviously, and like I think players watch our channel or Instagram or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, dude, it's a rotational swing. I need to rotate more." And how much did you think about rotating towards the target?
0. Yeah.
Absolutely freaking 0.
Yeah.
You will rotate if you're half an athlete. You're gonna rotate because like think of this direction again. If there's this like, say it's I've just got a wall here and I wanted to punch the wall. So the direction in my mind, I'm not going down to hit the wall. I'm going that way.
Yep.
So like right there, Teach, go ahead and ball up your fist over there on the right side. Just pump me. How much did you think about turning?
None again, but I'm turned.
And you're fully rotated. Bro.
Yeah. So that's like the rotation just happens due to the intention of where I'm trying to send the force.
Exactly.
Right? Okay.
And the body is always there to just support the swinging action of the arms. So it's playing a supportive role rather than this active role of like rotate, rotate, rotate. Like like if I had a hammer and I just go,
oh man,
it's like the dumbest. Like I'd
kind of blowing my mind a little bit because even kind of when I started learning this system, I thought the same thing. I was like, I'm learning a rotational system, right? I'm trying to learn how to rotate my body, but kind of how we just described it, like the body's going to respond to our directionality of the arms.
Yes.
That's a whole different map, at least in my mind, of at least where to direct intention.
Even our stupid terms in golf, there's a backswing and then there's a downswing. It's not a backswing and a forward swing. Nobody ever says that. It goes back and then down.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
It's just we set ourselves up for failure just with these words
with
which
the
create
terminology.
maps,
Yeah.
right?
Interesting.
Yeah. So do that again. So this is what's kind of fun too, because we just have force direction map here and body supports it.
Sure.
Hit one like, I don't know, you got 7-iron, right?
Yep.
Okay, hit one 140.
140.
140 yards just flushed out, but you just know force direction. We got turn, level, there you go. Now we're gonna drop and forward direction of the arms. They don't go down at all. You drop and move them forward. Now, this is cool. Thin, heavy, pure.
Heavy as shit.
Heavy as shit. Okay, so what does that tell you about the force direction in the arms?
Actually, probably 2 down.
There you go. So we need more forward.
So, and that's what I felt with the last one as well. Like when I actually felt this like kind of active forward level hit, that lined everything up.
Lined everything up.
Okay.
So even though it's 140-yard shot,
Yep.
we're taking some off of it. Just think of it as like if you had a Quakey right here and an axe in your hand, right? An aspen tree, so a little bitty thing, and a big heavy axe. You're not going ripping if you want to chip it, right?
Right.
You're just tapping like there's the hit. but it's a forward direction. Even if you're trying to hit down here, you're not trying to throw the axe down, you're still trying to throw the axe forward. There you go.
Interesting, yeah.
It's a forward vector.
Changes the intention. So
there
the
you
last
go.
one I got in here.
Yep. And this one we're gonna, that's exactly right. And look how stable.
That
the
ball doesn't move at all.
Yes, and
that's probably the easiest way for anyone to get their way around a golf course. Like,
dude, exactly. And so, like, I mean, if you're going to be like really fairly accomplished in this game, you do not play golf stock, same energy. No, because you're playing in different wind conditions and all kinds of stuff. Like, you're gonna sometimes, if you hit, let's say you're a beast and you hit 7-iron 180, but it's into the fan 30 miles an hour, you're gonna go, well, I guess I'll hit 6-iron and just rip it still. You're gonna lose the ball.
You'll lose the ball,
yeah,
for sure.
You've got to be able to like go, okay, it's into the fan by 30 miles an hour-ish, and go 7-iron from like 150, and still control the face. If you have this downward path up to give it room, boom, and the face is doing this, like, have a fun day.
The harder you swing at it, the more it rotates at that point, right? Because the harder you throw a vertical force down, the more the face is going to rotate, the more you're going to extend up.
So you're just handcuffed.
You're handcuffed. So in this way, like, if our intention with regardless of whatever shot is more or less a level hit, you can control whatever energy, you put whatever you want into it, basically.
So watch this. Here, now we're having fun. Now we know force direction.
Okay.
Just hit one stock now.
Stock.
But you better damn well flush one.
Yes, sir.
But we know force direction. We've got good maps. Boom, forward. Beautiful. Good 175, 185, 7-iron flush. But what's awesome? Did you lose any stability in either of those last two shots that you just hit?
No, I mean, both of those balls didn't move a lick.
They're right over the top of one another.
Yep.
So, like, it's so easy to control the instrument when you manage your force direction.
And that's just a completely different intention for most people.
It's a totally different intention. You also understand that, yeah, the arms are going to swing up just like a swing set will. But to move somebody in this vertical direction, you don't just huck them up there. You still push them in a certain direction, which is level. It's a level force back. It's a level force forward. And really, in the forward swing, we're not even talking at all about lowering at all. We're talking about pure AB and A deduction only.
And
the guys that drop the most
The way that we get down to the ball is the drop.
Is the drop. Because the more that I drop from this, like, neutral, to kind of recap here, like, if I'm in neutral standing position, my spine is generally tall. The more that I drop my booty, so my pelvis drops, going to more hip flexion. See the angle that my spine starts to get at?
Exactly,
It goes forward. So perpendicular to that is where the golf ball would be. So I don't have to go down anymore. I can purely go forward.
Interesting.
Matchups.
Force
direction. Change your frickin' mindset and where you're sending force. All of a sudden, you get those ones.
Heck yeah, dude.
Heck yeah, baby. Nice. You look good.
You look good too, man. I think there's going to be a number of questions on this video, right? So.
Yeah, I would anticipate there's going to be a heck of a lot. Like, you know, what's actually making that move, da-da-da-da. Like, right now, it's just identifying directionality of movement is really the whole idea of this video. And yeah, I mean, there's a million different ways to feel it based on what we're describing here. Ask the questions. You know us. We answer them all. Let's hit flushies.
Let's do it.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching that video. We've got a golf school coming up, March 13th through the 15th. If you've ever wanted to get to know the Elite Golf School system, this would be a great way to do so. Whirlwind Golf Club, link is in the bio to register. Spots are very, very limited, 9 spots total, so get there quick.